All right, just before we get into that interview on former President Jacob Zuma, let's first just check in again with what's happening at the SABC. We had spoken a bit earlier to Bamau in the 6 o'clock news. Let's now catch up with CWU, that's the Communication Workers Union's Aubrey Tshabalala, just to find out their plan of action for today as well. Aubrey, thanks very much for being with us. What is your reaction to the temporary suspension of the retrenchment process at the SABC? We saw that letter coming from the board early hours of this morning. What's your response?
Well, good morning to you, Leon, and the viewers at home. Well, we've seen that letter through media means. Officially, in terms of Section 189, you'll have to write to the parties that are involved in the process. And if the process was genuine, they should have written to us via CCMA, like they did on the 18th of June when they implemented Section 189. Firstly, to respond to our demands, because the strike that we have is based on the demands that we have, and our demands are very simple. Two of them is to withdraw all the dismissal letters that they've given to workers. Two is to abandon the restructuring / retrenchment process at all. So we are not going to concentrate on this 7 days Christmas party that they invited us to. We are going to focus on genuine issues and in terms of the law.
Yeah. So you obviously, from what I'm gathering, have had no communication at all from the board. This was just the letter that came out. And since that, you've not been called into meetings or any further discussions. So there's been no communication to you since.
Absolutely no communication. The first thing I did when I see this letter, went through my emails and to my colleagues to check if there's something written during these ungodly hours. There was nothing up until this point in time, meaning in terms of the law, there's nothing been said. That's just a public stance. It's a PR exercise.
So let's get to what the next step is. So obviously from your response, the strike is still happening this afternoon from noon. You're still calling on your members to go forward and strike and work towards that blackout. Is that still the process?
Absolutely. We're calling on our members and non-unionized and members from the other unions, freelancers and everyone else that is contracted at SABC in terms of employment. We want to make emphasis that they are covered in terms of the law. SABC could not even object to that. In fact, it has an input on the picketing rules, so the strike is well protected. So it is up to us, it's in our hands now to defend SABC and the workers and our jobs.
Yeah. Just in terms of talking to the retrenchment process and also looking at the costings and the dire financial state that the SABC find themselves in, and you say that you're very much so against these retrenchments. What do you suggest that the SABC do to land back on their feet financially?
Well, there are various things, and we cannot exclude the government from this issue, because when you look at the restrictions laws in terms of broadcasting, they're also bottlenecking the broadcaster to spread its wings, particularly on the online content and stuff like that. We have further engaged on issues of creating new revenue streams, strengthen the licensing or remodeling it so that you can be able to uplift SABC financial income. But what is also important is that we have to protect the production line. Every company, if it wants to generate revenue, it doesn't kill its production line. And SABC's production line is the content. And if you look at the retrenchment or the new structure, it actually does the opposite than to save SABC from financial crisis. It does the opposite. It might cut the salary bill, but it increases the expenditure on buying a content, which might be 2 times more than the salary bill in the near future. So we are not fixing the problem. So we want to embark on a comprehensive approach to save SABC. And we agree there are challenges. We need to look into those challenges. And one of the issues they've raised during the annual report, they complain about excess use of leave days and abusing of sick leave. It shows the incapacity.
Aubrey, it looks like we have lost
the management. That is a HR Mercular issue in terms. Yes. Am I
We
audible?
lost you just for a brief second. I didn't want to interrupt you because we did get you back there, Aubrey. Just carry on what you're talking to.
Okay. I was saying in terms of the process, you can't apply retrenchment to address the management incapacity to manage, because if a person is excessively using his leave days or abusing sick leave, there are processes, there are incapacity processes that you deal with specific individuals. If there's low productivity, there's processes to deal with that. So you cannot use retrenchment to address something that is running parallel. So all what we are saying here is that let's look at the program that will save SABC. Let's look at immediate plans, and obviously, once we deal with that, we'll be able to deal with all other issues.
Yeah.
We have not moved away from the issue of skills audit, Leon, which has not been done. SABC claims that has been done. That would have assisted us a great deal in terms of dealing with these issues.
Yeah. Just on a final note, I mean, obviously we do know that the SABC is overstaffed. It has got a massive salary bill. We do know this, but from what I'm gathering from you is that it's not to have a blanket approach to retrenchments. It's to actually look at individuals that are contributing to the organization and that aren't, and work that way, not in the manner in which the board and management are working right now. Is just a blanket approach to literally getting rid of departments and regions and languages and things like this. This is obviously where the unions are now wanting to fight for the rights of the workers.
Absolutely, you've captured it very well. Also, in addition, where are we also overstaffed in terms of department, where we have more skills, over supplement of skills, and where we have less, where we must improve, where we must decrease. All those things must be brought into the table so that when we talk about the restructuring, we are inclusive of everything. So that's what basically we are debating here.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. So thanks, Aubrey Tshabalala, also talking to us from the CWU. That strike going ahead at noon today. These are SABC members that, whether they are from Bamau or CWU, are embarking on a strike this afternoon, basically saying that they are not going to go on air, looking for a blackout here at the SABC until the demands are met. And the retrenchment process is halted for good. So that's the demands from their side.